Have you ever wondered how hard it would be to do everything in Final Fantasy XIV? Well, last year I decided to put that to the test and see if me, the most average player in existence, could do it. We've still got a ton left to do and the hardest grinds are yet to come, so let's see if I can 100% ffxiv before I inevitably lose my will to live. Alright, it's been a while since we've done kind of a look through a good summary of how we're doing. We did it in the first episode and I've not done it since then, so I want to just kind of go through and make sure that we know kind of where we stand with everything. So, in terms of mounts, the big denominator right now, we have 104, sitting at 63%, with the Wyver still being the rarest mount, and it'll be the rarest mount for a while. The throne, the Sylvan throne we got is a close second. That's kind of a more recent release, which kind of leads to that being a little bit more rare, though it is still decently difficult to get. The 63% is a little bit lower than it should be because I'm using LOL achievements for the summary for this, and they count a few mounts that I personally disagree with in terms of how they track things. They count stuff like the invite a friend or recruit a friend and those sorts of promotional type stuff, which are technically still in the game, but they require you to do something outside the game, which I disagree with. There's a few little things like that. So the percentage isn't as important to me as just the general total for that. We are sitting at the top 50,000 for globally, and within our world, we are in the top 200. Is a very low pop world though, so that kind of leads to that. In terms of minions, which is kind of the secondary thing we've been working towards, we have about 50%, a little bit over 50% own rate with 204 minions. Globally, we are still far above where we probably should be as a completionist series at 122,000 and 430th in the world. The Penguin Prince we got from Verminion is still our rarest mount, or minion, and the Royal Lieutenant that we got from Maps, it was also pretty rare actually. And achievements, we have 36%, but generally percentage is going to be lower for achievements, even though my rank is still in the top 100,000, and it's a better rank than the minions that I have half, like a 56% of. Just generally people have lower percentages of the total achievements for it. The Always Bet on Me achievement, which I think is from doing roulettes for Triple Triad, is the rarest. I do like the graph they have here, kind of just showing the general skew of things. There's a few things I'm not tracking super accurately, like emotes and hairstyles. Those two aren't, you have to manually track those, and I'm not super accurate with those, but everything else is pretty accurate. So you can definitely see mounts are the main thing we're focusing on. Triple Triad cards, obviously, by virtue of having the magic card mount, we have a huge percentage of those. I would like to get that to 100, and I'm capable of doing that. I just need to grind out a few cards, and I've not been incredibly motivated to farm out cards right now that I have the mount for it. But maybe I'll do a little mini portion of one of these videos where I just go and get back to 100% own rate for Triple Triad cards before they release anymore. My goals in terms of like ranking is definitely to get in the top 100 for my world, and probably the top 10,000 for mounts. There's definitely plenty of mounts to get that, especially if I start focusing on PvP more and get some of those mounts. Those are a big chunk of ones that I've not tapped into yet. Either way, cool summary. I'll try to do these a little bit more often as we're hitting milestones, so you can see the general progression of everything. So some of you might have caught on to the fact that I've suddenly gone back and done P1 through 4 with a group of folks, and that is not just for the mounts. This was in preparation to do DSR, which is the most recently released, at the time of recording this, Ultimate Fight. Now, for some background, I've never ever done a Savage on tier. I've never done a current Savage tier. I've not even done an extreme when it's the most current extreme. I am very much out of my depth for this. If you're not aware, I think DSR, pretty much most people would consider it the hardest fight that exists in the game currently. It is the toughest content you can really do. without doing kind of self-limitations for the most part. And I'm jumping into the deep end by doing this. I'm with a group of people that are extremely talented. All of them are very, very good at what they do, and very motivated to get this done. So why am I doing this? This has no mount attached to it. There's nothing attached to it except 10 achievement points and a title and a really cool looking weapon. But this is really for a couple things. This is something I have to do anyways. This is an achievement I need to get. This is something I need to work towards anyways. And it's intimidating. It's like I said, it's going in the deep end. But I think it's something that I can improve with. I can learn to get better at the game by doing. And it's something that I feel like I can really just, if I can do this, I can do anything basically. It's going to be a long time commitment. I'm going to try to knock this out, but it's going to be tough. I'll show updates here and there of our progression as we're going, but yeah, it's difficult. I don't know how long it's going to take. We could blaze through it if things go well, but even if we do, it's going to take a while. So there'll be periodic updates with this. This will limit some of the time I can normally do some of my amount farming, but I think this is a really unique and interesting goal that I'm excited to work towards. And excited to learn the game on a much deeper level doing this, and this should help me in the future for doing tougher content. Should be. Someone lives. Hey! Overall, after first day of Ultimates, I feel a lot less stressed about it. I think it's more stressful to watch other people prog through it than it is to just do it myself. So now that I've gotten into it and I've got a group of folks that really know what they're doing, and always tough being the person that knows the least and has the least experience, which I definitely am. But I feel like those are the moments when you can learn a lot. So I feel like I've been learning a lot. People have been very receptive to giving feedback and understanding that I'm pretty new to all this. We'll see what we can get going with this. Ah, there's an achievement for it. Cool. All right, got out of sight for the first 20 of the sightseeing logs for ARR, and there's only 60 more now. Woo! To do the other 60 of the sightseeing log here. So previously I was restricted to the 20 here, and now there's another over 3 pages of sightseeing log to do. Some of these conditions are very strict. I think they're less strict than they used to be, but at a certain time of day, at a certain location, during certain weather, I have to stand in a certain spot and do a certain emote, and it gives me credit for this. And if you do all 80 of them, you get a minion. So I'm just doing this passively when I have time for it. But either way, kind of having a fun time with this. It's just a nice like downtime thing to do when I don't know what to do. Just check to see if there's a sightseeing log up. I should knock out some of these as well. I've made like basically no progress on all the other ones except for Endwalker. So I need to kind of work on that. Kugane I think is the hardest one because it has a jump map associated with it. Alright, I just recorded a long clip of me talking about things and realized I was using my replay buffer instead of actually recording it. We hit 330 coffers, we opened a silver coffer and got nothing. There's a couple gold coffers I've opened off camera because just I was talking with people and didn't want to be rude and interrupt and record them, or ask them, or just like deafen myself suddenly to open it. So yeah, none of those I got video of, but we have opened 22 of those and almost 100 silver coffers without the mounts. I'm just kind of doing this as an idle thing. Like I'm cleaning my room up right now while doing it. The only issue is moments like this when there's a bunch of people. You can't see it. You can kind of see it with chat, but with the chat blurred even. But there's a lot of people running around doing fates, and when there's a bunch of people on the map, it scales all the fates, including the bunny fate. So it takes longer to kill. I have three of the 4 people here with me are bots, so like they're only single targeting, which makes it very slow. So overall, it's just a slow process with times like this, and a little annoying. So either way, I could do hunts right now. I just kind of feel like AFKing this a little bit and not thinking too much while I'm doing other things. But I do have a few days away from doing DSR stuff, so I've got some time to potentially sit down and knock out some mounts, joining some groups, so doing some tank mount farming, maybe doing a Endwalker Extreme 2. I've heard that's pretty simple, so I'll need to look into that. Trying to work on getting all of those dogs, or not dogs, cats. We already have all the dogs. Either way. So I don't have a main grind right now because PvP I'm waiting until the 12th for the update so that I can kind of double dip and get some tombstones. They're just like, sit in a tree. There's a 2-minute window that you can sit in this tree. Go do it. I guess to check in on how we're doing with sightseeing log, we are almost at 60 out of 80. The more we do though, the harder they get to do because there's significantly less that can pop up. So sometimes during a window, I'll have like 6 pop up and I can just chug through as many of those as possible. But yeah, I am almost 3/4 the way done. I just kind of chugged through this. There's this like post ultimate zoomies that I get where I'll just like be walking around aimlessly, and this is a nice thing to do while I'm just like aimlessly walking around. It's like, okay, I got a sightseeing log while we're talking and just zoom around everywhere. Just a lot of like anxious energy from focusing for like 3 hours straight. But either way, there is a minion you get for getting all 80. I think I mentioned that before. So, but yeah, I'll probably next progress update will be like 70 or something. I don't know, whenever I feel like it. An achievement? What? I bought the Bardings from here just because I'm trying to get rid of some seals. Ah, okay. What a weird achievement. All right. Tank mount farming. I wasn't able to go for as long as I wanted to, but we're able to knock out another 50 or so. This second achievement for warrior was like 20 behind or so, the other one. So we only got another 60 to do. So that if I can find a decent group and stick with them for a while, there should just be one more farm. So that'll be nice to get dealt with. And then after that, I'll start doing the ones for Gunbreaker, which I don't think I really have any progress with. I do not have this set as one of my ones for my wish list. Guess I don't. Either way. So I don't think I have pretty much any progress for Gunbreaker though. So working on that. Going to finish this up though and get the Battle Bear, which I'm sure is going to look wonderful. Again, we are sightseeing log 70 of 80. We have only 10 left, and all of them except for one is on cooldown. There's a couple that are coming off cooldown the next couple hours, so after that it's going to be a nice little break from it. So it's probably, I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, technically all of them except for one are popping or 2 are popping in the next 10 hours. So I could be almost all the way done if I just didn't sleep, but like I like this game. I don't like it that much. I like sleep more than I like this game. I'm gonna be honest. You know, this is probably like the most RuneScape of grinds, and by that I mean there's just a drop chance for it. And the mount farming at least has like a pity rate for it. So after you do 99 of a mount farm, you're going to get the mount no matter what because you can turn in totems for it. For this, there's no pity rate. There's nothing like that. I can't turn in crystals for it. It is literally just you rolling against the drop chance, and there's the layers of RNG with this and all that. So, it's. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm having a great time. You can tell. I'm happy there's not really many, or I don't think there's really any other grinds that are really like this one that I'll have to be doing for the mounts. Like, I can't think of any other than like the other Eureka Zone that are really just this, based on the rules I have for this, just grind and hope rather than eventually get there. I got trolled so bad. There 4 things popped up that has never happened before for his silver. And I thought it was it. Oh, I'm losing my mind. I think I'm just destined to be here for a very, very long time. And I don't know when I'm gonna leave, and my hand's clipping through the ground. Never do this. If you're not doing a restriction where you can't buy mounts, don't do this. Just farm money and buy the mounts if you want them. Just do that. It's so much smarter. Don't actually farm the mounts. It's so miserable. Oh, I just got the mount. Neat. I was just kind of vibing for the tank farm, but this is the last warrior mount I have to get, so I don't have to do warrior for any of these mount farms ever again, which means I'm a fourth of the way there. Next is going to be Gunbreaker because I have that to 90. I need to start leveling Dark Knight, get that to 90 before I finish up with this mount farm and just keep cycling through it like that. I still have a lot of progress to make on Dark Knight. Maybe... I have no clue. I'm going to decide to level it. Maybe I'll do like front lines and put XP on it or something like that. Either way, I like this mount actually. I know it's literally just the bear, but with armor, which is a very like WoW thing to do, but I don't know. I like it. I like the little unicorn horn it's got on. He's an angry dude, but he's, oh, apparently, okay, there's the bear's butt, in case you're wondering, in case you were curious. But either way, cool mount to get. I don't know what count we're at right now. This will be on the screen like right now. But yeah, so fourth of the way through the tank mount farming. Not too bored of it. I mean, it just takes a while, and it's hard to find a group that lasts for very long. Like, I don't know what's up with the groups I've been joining, but there's been a lot of like weird drama and people getting nippy at each other for a farm that essentially is just doing the same 40-second fight over and over again. It's very weird. I don't know. Either way, onward we go with more mount farming and more tank mount farming specifically soon. Hey, is that all of them? Why do we get an achievement then? Wait, why is there one missing? 1 through 40. That's weird. Dude. Okay, I actually fell down onto the correction branch. I was gonna... I did it! Nice. Is that all of them? Oh. Doesn't have 2 achievements like the other ones. I guess it does have like half as many as Heavensward has, so I guess that makes sense. We don't even get an achievement for it. This is or we don't get a title for it. This is awful. Everyone and their mother has made a video about the Tombstone event, the Moogle Tombstone event. So I won't go into too many details about it, but this is why I was waiting on doing PvP, because by doing Frontlines, which is the less favorite of the 2 modes, which I already need to do tons of to get a lot of achievements and mounts, I will get these irregular Tombstones of Creation. And there's a lot of cool rewards you can get. There's a lot of mounts you can buy with them. Unfortunately, I already have all of them. I was a little bit on the fence about if I should allow myself to buy these, but since it's in the game, it's something I'm allowing myself to do if I would like to. Other than that, really the big thing to get during this event is the Falcon Ignition Key. This is a mount that is only going to be available through events like this, and probably the next time we'll see this is years from now. So I'm focusing on that. There's a few other ones that I don't have, like some emotes and some orchestration roles, but really, as long as I get this ignition key for 50 tomestones, I'm all right. I believe Frontlines gives you 5 tomestones if you win. I don't know how many it is if you lose. It's like 3 or 4. So if I only did Frontlines, I'd have to do 10 wins worth of Frontlines to get it. But there's some other ways to do it. I can actually get all this in just over an hour if I'm spamming certain things with Blue Mage. The point of this event is to get people to run content they normally wouldn't, to like help Sprouts through it and just like revitalize content like PvP. But most of the time you just find like a cheesy way of going through it. So I'm kind of double dipping with this, and that's why I was waiting. The only other thing that I'm really interested in, and I'll bring up, is these ostensibly special time-worn maps. They are level 80 maps, which are already good to do because you can make a decent amount of money off of them. But with the treasure maps you do, there's a chance you get portals from them. These maps, they are guaranteed to give you a portal, which is really good because the portals where all the big, really cool loot is. There's also achievements for getting through the area that spawns from the portal all the way to the bottom, which is a bunch of RNG chance. 20 times, which is ridiculous. So that just helps speed up the process a little bit. So there's some cool stuff with this. If I can get the Falcon Ignition Key, this is not going to count for our mount count. This is purely just because it is a mount that will not be available later. I might as well grab it now, but it's not gonna bump up the count because it's not gonna be available after this, and it wouldn't be fair to people that aren't here for this event. But either way, I guess the series thing is the same way. So I'm double dipping to complete 2 mounts that don't count for my mount count. What am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? Anyways, after that small crisis, yeah, let's see how PvP goes. I don't know what it is about Frontlines. I just got done with a couple matches. I don't know what it is, but like it just is so exhausting. I've done like 2 matches today. I need to win 8 matches. I've won none of them. We got spawn camped the last match when we were about to win. It was so sad. So people were just leaving early. It's so draining. And you get like 3 of the irregular tomestones for the treasure trove event for each of them. So if I wanted to get the Falcon mount by just doing this, I'd have to start winning, but I'd also have to start playing it a lot. And every time I do it, I just have to take like 5-10 minutes afterwards and just like lay here and just be like, This is the 6th one, and I've not won any of them. I just want 1 win today. 1 win at all. And we're not having that, so I hope. I'm so miserable. I just want to win a match. We won a match. We won a match. We finally won a match. And it wasn't even that close. So I alluded to it in the video where I was talking about how I had gotten every single mount from every extreme fight pre-Endwalker. There's one mount that is an exclusion to that, and that is the Great Hunt Extreme, the Monster Hunter cross-promotional thing they did with Final Fantasy XIV. I do not have the Rathalos mount because I've been avoiding that fight because it's one of my least favorite fights in the game, actually. So I'll be grinding that. I have heard that the drop rate from the fight itself is like super duper low, where people have it's got a pity rate like all other extreme fights. If you get 50 of the scales, basically if you beat the fight 50 times, you are guaranteed to be able to buy the mount. But there's a chance of it dropping before that. So But what I've heard is many people on their way to getting 50 scales have only seen like the mount like once or twice in like a group of 4 people doing it. So not thinking that's probably gonna drop for me, but hoping for it anyways. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this fight. So I'll just try to knock out the 50 as I go and hopefully, fingers crossed, get them out quick. Oh, also, one thing about this fight is it doesn't even spawn the chest at the end unless you have a chance, like you get one of the unique drops for it. So a lot of the time you just end the fight and there's no reward for it other than the one of 50 scales you need. So that's always like tilting. Oh, fucking yeah. There's a copper. No, it's good, because I already have this. Help box. I want another match. It's possible. I did terrible, but it's okay. I love that button.
Nice throw!
Shout out to the absolute lovely people that just took Yellow's base. I'm really happy we're ganging up on the team that is losing really bad. I'm really happy we're making them feel even more miserable, right? Well, hey, but that's enough. It's enough for series level 25 at least. We did it. I got the Ilja horn, whatever that is. Be real honest with you, I lost every single match I played today. We played like 7 matches in a row and I lost all of them. And I know, well, actually not 7 matches. I can check. Oh no, it was 7. I won 1? Okay, apparently I won 1. I don't remember winning 1. Either way, so yeah, kind of a rough PvP day because today's the day after reset. Yeah, didn't go very well. So, but like I said, we do have the dragon horn. We have hit the final important level for series level, but I'm also over here because of the irregular tombstone event. We can get the Falcon ignition key. Now, the funny thing about this is these are 2 new mounts, but they're 2 mounts, but neither of them count for the series with the rules I have laid out, which is so these don't count, but they're both on the way of just like getting completionist stuff while it's available, and also it is content that I need to do anyways with PvP because I need to get the PvP done. Why is it showing the Discord overlay? That's weird. I didn't notice that before. 1 second. So I just leave the call for now. Either way, this is the first mount. This is the PvP mount that we got. And I've seen it before, and my opinion still is this is the worst looking mount that we have gotten in the series so far, like without exception. So I mean, not even worst looking, that's not even the right word, it's just boring. It's just a dragon, that's it. I kind of expect from like a PvP series, like it's like a big reward, but this is, I'm pretty sure this is just one of the dragons from Heaven's Ward, but with scales that glow. And that's about it. So, or not scales, but like spines that glow. So I not the greatest reward for doing all that PvPing, but this is like this is the second PvP mount we've gotten, and yeah, I don't know. Like it's on the flip side, we have the Falcon, which is the limited time treasure trove Moogle Homestone event mount that is not from this, but it's being kind of like reintroduced with this. And I think this is very cute. I like it. It's like a little. I do not. I have not played the game this was from, so I know it is a reference to a past Final Fantasy game. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of the past Final Fantasy games very well at all, but it's cool. I like it. It's little. It's a cute little thing. I enjoy it. I'm definitely happy took the time to get it. But from this point on, any tomestones I get for the event are going into maps, so we'll be doing a big ol' map blitz at some point. So look forward to that. Like I said before, 2 new mounts, but the count does not increase for this, so it will not pop on the screen unless I mess up or I decide differently. But either way. All right, thank you for watching episode number 10. I think we're going to end it off there. The series is really kind of split in 3 different paths for the most part, trying to get either of the Eureka mounts, trying to do PvP without losing my mind, and learning how to do an ultimate fight for the very first time. So because of that, the progress is a little bit stuttered because of that, but I really want to push for each of these. The series is still moving more towards just general completionist stuff, with showing off kind of the sightseeing logs and going for mounts that aren't necessarily for the series, but they're still limited time sort of completionist stuff that I feel like we should go after. So the series is a little bit more broad, but I think it helps as we get more mounts and as it's more difficult to get mounts, fill in a little bit of those gaps and still have some interesting stuff where we're experiencing a lot of the stuff in the game. But either way, I'm just going to end it off there. Hopefully it won't take 3 weeks to get another video out like this. I'm really trying to catch up. One of these episodes might end up just being a blitz of like really just chewing through a bunch of clips and making really quick work of all that progress and speeding through a few weeks of stuff just to get us more caught up. But we'll see if that ends up working out. I don't want to undersell the difficulty of certain things as we're working on, especially stuff like ultimates and some of the challenging fights we're trying to do. So either way, thank you for watching. Again, I really appreciate it. Appreciate your patience. And I'll see you for episode 11.